So my second question is, it's not really a continuation on the EU, but what's America's role? Why is America so indicative right now with their relationship with Great Britain and what's happening with the EU?
Great Britain underwrote the Americas, or the United States Corporation, through something called Assess Do We Trust. So based on that, they created a subsidy where they would be able to renegotiate whatever debts they had or owed to Rome within a certain amount of time. The Pope, through a motu proprio, recently just basically fired all of them and put them out by themselves. So the United States as a government doesn't have the ability to basically be under it or matched by any other corporate government on the planet right now.
Wow.
So they are being marginalized as a defunct corporation, by which their petrodollars aren't being accepted for goods and services in the international community. White males are being expunged from trading platforms in different countries because nobody wants to deal with any Rothschild-backed business. So you have people like Putin, and you have people like Prime Minister Z, that's out here basically putting what they call red notices on different aspects of the Khazarian banking syndicate. A red notice is an international arrest warrant that's issued through Interpol for crimes against people who've done crimes against different countries or crimes against humanity. So based on that, they're creating another union they refer to as the BRICS Union, which again is a conglomerate of different nations that are starting to step away or don't want to have anything to do with the so-called petrodollar. The petrodollar is any United States dollar that is purchased by a foreign country in order to purchase oil. You can't just buy oil with your own country's money. So if you're from India and you want to purchase 10 barrels of oil with rupees, you got to take your rupees and take that to an exchange platform, change it over to American dollars, buy the oil or whatever, and then in that. So in that, America was always basically getting a cut off of anybody making oil,
party.
like a third party or
A manager, or
yeah, or like a
an
middleman,
agent,
just a
right.
middleman for everybody else's wealth in the world. Because based upon an old thing that came out in the 20s called the Plan of Experts, the Federal Reserve Bank and everything that we understand as modern banking was actually there to actually alleviate all of mankind's and humanity's burden based upon the wars that they had been fighting or they fought up until 1945. After 1945, a plan was put into place, a structural plan was put into place by which all countries in the world would be able to receive debt-free money from any of these 12 reserves, and it would be funneled into their country so long as the preservation, again, of the 4 or 5 principles, love, truth, peace, freedom, justice, and equality, would be put into play. So the Rothschilds and the Khazarian mob and these people, they went against all of that. Roosevelt and them hijacked the Federal Reserve, hijacked the Plan of Experts thing, hijacked all of the things that was supposed to be used to put humanity in a higher octave, and all they then did was make humanity the debtors and made themselves the trustees over it. So Rothschild, the Queen of England, all of these people have been down with this thing, as we know, for years. But what they've been telling us is the exact opposite of what's going on. They telling us that the New World Order is something that it really isn't. The New World Order is how you are ordering your new world, how your new world is going to be ordered. If you don't have a set play of how that's going to be, then you're going to fall into one of these fake New World Order regime schemes that they already got set up. They don't already convince black people that the pyramid on the dollar belongs to so-called white people like Washington and Jefferson and these people. So if they can make you believe that a pyramid was built by a Caucasian man and that government that signifies belongs to them, then there's really nothing me as an individual can necessarily do to dissuade that, because you've already drank the Kool-Aid. You already believe that these people got camps and stuff like that waiting for you, when really these camps are for people that are not American. What makes you an American? What makes you an American is that you have ancestry from North, Central, and South America. That term America is then codified under the term United States of America in Congress assembled.
So there's two.
That's the original thing.
Okay,
but the
great.
United States, as we understand, has maybe 7 different meanings. So
Can
unless
you break down the
understand
first
what the
3,
word,
the major 3?
one
or
United
the
States
difference?
means a corporation.
Okay.
Another United States means how your individual state is united within your individual constituency, meaning that you as an individual are a state, right? So you as an individual being a state, you have the ability then to unite that state with a bunch of other individuals to create, let's say, an unincorporated association. That's another form of the United States. You can be an unincorporated association. You can be an actual corporation itself to be a United States. You can be united within a specific state, within a specific corporate state or juristic state or administrative state. So it's all of these different.
I
To
see
find
how it
out
can be
more,
confusing.
it can get confusing. So you have to know what state by which you reside, what you are domiciled at. To be domiciled in a state is different than being a resident of a state. For you to be, for you to be a United States citizen is different than being a citizen of the United States.
Right. What's
One
the
is an
difference
American
between
national. A citizen of the United States is an American national. A United States citizen is a corporatized, structured version of human capital based upon certain paperwork and stuff that was issued by President Bill Clinton and George Bush.
And what is the difference between naturalization and nationalization?
To nationalize one, let's say if we was in a country, right? Let's look back in history. Idi Amin. Idi Amin nationalized all of the natural resources in his country. So what that meant was that any government, outside government or outside people that wanted to partake and do business in Uganda at that time, they would have to now pay him whatever he said that his price is. It had nothing to do with free trade agreements and all of that. It had to do when you nationalize something, that means that you're taking it in the name of the nation. And anybody that's not in the nation, fuck you, pay me. You gotta pay me. So it's the same thing when you're dealing with naturalization now. Naturalization is the exact opposite of that. Naturalization is when you come from a country with your own nationality, but the hosting country that you're going into, they want you now to give up that nationality and accept theirs. So that's what most Moors are doing when they're going through these so-called naturalization processes. There's no literature that Noble Ali ever wrote where he talked to you about naturalizing. This whole thing, naturalizing, came into existence in the Moorish Science Temple, or the so-called Moorish diaspora, right around the same time they started bringing Blue Lodge symbols into the Moorish Science Temple, acting like that's what was here when that's what was rocking when the Prophet was here. Such as these swords, you see a symbol, it'll say LTPF at the top, and it got a sword, and then it's over a 5-pointed star. Well, brothers and sisters, that 5-pointed star represents the woman. So if you got a sword above her head, then what are you doing? You're practicing Shrinerdom or Freemasonry. That has nothing to do with Moorish science. And I see Moors with them symbols every day. But again, I'm not here to impugn you, Noble, or Shikas or Moabitis, if that's what you want to do.
But to create a
All
delineation.
I'm saying is that there's a difference between what it is and what you want it to be. And what you may want Moorish science to be is not necessarily what it is. What it is the study of yourself and establishing your Moorish science within your temple, so that way you can exist in America through your divine and national movement, which is really the organ back to the old Almoravian Empire, for those people that don't know. How can we prove this? I can prove it to you right now, but you know what? I'm tired of doing shit like that, because all y'all do is take what I'm saying, and then another nigga go and watch what I'm saying, and then he say it on the tape, then all y'all go and ask me if what he said is real, when you know that he got it from me. There's nobody that's kicking Moorish science on this level like me. And I can toot my own horn, and I can say what I do, because I done put out over 10 years worth of real relevant information that people have been making money off of, and I'm tired of it. I'm to the point now where so many people out here trying to promote this thing that what's happening is that you got all these other people out here watching whatever other people do on their DVDs and stuff like that. Then they go at home, put their name
Because
on it,
it's a market.
take paperwork,
They've
put
turned
their
it
name
into
on
a
it,
store.
put it back out to people.
They turned
and
it
then,
into a bodega. You
yeah,
understand?
or worse, they turned it into
Thank you.
They turned it into a almost like a prostitution ring. That's what's going on with this thing. They prostituting the prophet. They using the prophet. The prophet wouldn't do this, the prophet wouldn't do that. But half of y'all niggas, if the prophet was walking around here right now, you wouldn't even recognize him. That's how crazy the Moorish science movement is. And I'm speaking as somebody that's in it. Like, I'm in it. You know what I'm saying? And in order for me to talk this, I had to be in it. I couldn't just be speaking all of this outside the temple. I had to actually go in. And when I went in, I started to see that the same problems that's outside of it is inside of it.
And this is exactly why what?
And this is exactly why the devil is doing whatever he can do to continuously support certain people within the community that work for him directly to keep you guessing as to what the real moral science is. Is this gonna work? Is this working? That's not what it is. That's not how a central government works. But again, most people are getting into this to get out of shit.
And to have some popularity.
And a lot of people are getting into
I think a lot
this.
of these people didn't even have any personalities in high school
It's a personality
and in college.
matrix,
I'm
no
gonna be
doubt.
honest, like
It's a personality matrix, no doubt. But at the same time, yo, it's to the point now where the rubber has met the road. The international way has opened up now for us to be able to grab on and grasp a hold to actually have something for ourselves, to centralize what it is we're doing in a manner that is conducive, right, to all of us coming up. But guess what? This shit ain't for everybody. Because if it was for everybody, everybody would know about the profit. But
yeah,
we
well,
didn't hear
things
about
people
that.
also don't become interested in anything until they see you either standing behind an expensive car,
That's
a
it.
really nice house, and then it's, oh, well, if I can get that, now it becomes interesting.
That's it.
But
Well,
you know, a point of entry is very important. How things start is how things are going to finish, and that's why one thing I can say is there's got to be there has been so many silver linings, but there aren't moments that you can necessarily advertise, because not everything that glitters is gold.
Indeed so. And it's like I said, it's to the point now where internationally things is opened up, but we gotta be in an international character. To be international means that you fall under the jurisdiction of the family of nations. The United Nations came out of the United States. Therefore, the United Nations really is just a de facto earthly version of what the family of nations, which is from time immemorial, really is. That where most of our international protections under the law of nations exist. But most Moors don't even know how to get to that. Because most Moors are saying, Moors will do shit like this. They'll say, well, our flag is over 50,000 years, right? But they using a constitution that is only 150 years old. How you here longer than the constitution? You here longer than everybody else, but you only using the shit that everybody else used to get right. When you are in a vast estate, you will come from a vast empire where you can apply any type of law under Muslim customary law to do that. That's why it's good for you to be a Muslim. Because when you're a Muslim, you're falling under Sharia law, and now that's bringing you up under ISIS and all of the rest of these foreign Arabs that came and co-opted your science and made you believe now that you were a Muslim before you was a Moor. That's crazy. You got people understanding. You can't say that you are from time immemorial, but then you dating yourself. Does that make sense? But it probably do to certain Moors, because anything I say, another Moor can come out now and say, oh, well, Moor, it's really like this and like that. And then you get a whole bunch of people liking that on Facebook. Now that's the truth. Nobody really want to get, what I'm saying is that y'all niggas talk this shit, but y'all don't really want to get it right. Because I'm tired of always people hitting me up, asking me about what the next man doing. Is this person's product right? I know you legit, but I just want to see if this person is good or not. I'm done with all of that.
You went underground enough to be responsible.
I'm done with all of that. I don't put out too much relevant information that like I said, that people is feeding themselves on. I gotta literally hit up people on YouTube asking them to take down my shit, right? Because they feel like they could just put the whole shit on, when really, in order for me to put this stuff out, I have to generate some sort of revenue. And as much as I know how to flip bonds and this and that and gold and silver, guess what? Most Moors is not even dealing in none of that. So I gotta deal with what the interface of modicum of exchange that they dealing with, and that's the firms. You think I want to do that? No. You think I want to charge people for certain shit? No. But guess what? If I don't, y'all ain't gonna cherish nothing. Y'all ain't gonna value it. You're just gonna disrespect it. You're gonna try to package it, put it into another program, put it on a website,
well, that's
and then
right,
boom.
Because whoever has the highest Instagram and the most Twitter activity
doing the most, right?
is doing the most. The fuck out of here, man.
And this is the problem.
And that's why I be saying, people the same thing. What's the brother's name? Most Def. Have him. You know, it's not for other people that are doing work to solicit
I told, for
people.
instance, with him,
And he's a great man. I would love for you. This is people that want to get certain stuff done. If they've heard about you, then how is it that people can't get in touch?
People know when you dealing with me, when you deal with me, I'm not just gonna do it all for you. I'm gonna show you how to fish for yourself, but I'm gonna do it for real. I'm gonna get your
Because I would
shit
love for him to
happening
be
for
able to
real.
travel. I would love for us to be able to help certain people.
But guess
But
what?
it's not for the greater to go, and I say greater in a sense, it's not for someone that has figured something out to just be so lowly. It's almost as though you don't have any value in what you do. It's like people want you to devalue everything that you've put your energy into. And if you don't have a lot to show for, you better at least appreciate the books that you've read and the biology and and the bibliography that you've attracted along amongst,
The one thing that
throughout
people
time.
can
I'm
never take from
stuttering
you.
because at this moment it's getting late. It's time to go inside. You've got to break away.